just made it up.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think this is a really cool way to do releasing Pokemon. They have this new obstacle, right? Which is that they're having monthly tournaments and they can't break the game before a tournament. So before they would release Greed and they're like, this is terrible. What are you going to do? We'll patch it in 3 weeks and it's still going to be terrible. So, you know, they didn't really have a reason to have the game not broken at a specific time. They could kind of work on their time frame with it. But now with these tournaments, you can't have an entire month of tournaments that are with a completely broken character and a broken mechanic inside the game. So the onus is on them to release things that work, or have it, you know, have like sort of a buffer in place. So if it doesn't work, they're like, good thing this can't be played in the tournament because it's you know, it's Sylveon on release. So good thing that we can't throw it into some of the competitive games. Looking at this Pokemon, I'm always excited for new additions, especially things people didn't expect. I did have someone on my Discord who was literally posting the laser focus, like, it's Duraludon, I'm sure of it.
That's so cool. Right? I like that. That's so cool.
I love that, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, I would say this is really unexpected. They keep throwing out Pokemon that are, you know, you've got a little bit of fan favorite. You've got to have Dragonite in there, but no one expects Trevenant. You know, you probably think Aegislash is going to make it to the game, but I think everyone was like, Hoopa? What?
Yeah.
Why? So Duraludon for me, I'm really excited to see a Pokemon like that because I would never have expected it.
Yeah, the cool thing from my perspective is that I listen, you guys know I'm coming from the MOBA side, right? I'm really not big on Pokemon. I know a little bit, but I come from the MOBA side, and the way that I see these characters, it all comes from their silhouette. So I look at the character and I look at their body, I look at the way that they're physically built, and then I ask questions, right? Like, what does this do? And this character being an attacker, I'm like, okay, this character doesn't look like an attacker, it looks like a refrigerator. And then I'm like, okay, well, what kind of an attacker is it going to be? Because it definitely doesn't look like an auto attacky kind of like 80 carry like Greninja Cinderace. So I'm assuming, and then with a little bit of research obviously on the Pokemon, I'm assuming it's going to be an SP attacker, will probably be very ability focused. And just like breaking down the footage we have like a little bit of information. We've seen the Unite move, which looks like some kind of like an AoE kind of like explosion. We've seen the like Stealth Rocks kind of move, which it could be Stealth Rocks. I don't know. I know it's a Steel Dragon type, so maybe they wouldn't lean into a rock move, but it could be Stealth Rocks. But it has these like light spheres that it will give the players on damage, it looks like, and that could be the passive, or it could be tied directly to that move. It's most likely going to be tied into the passive, and then the Unite move consumed those spheres. So we'll see how that all works. I was kind of like theory crafting and guessing. Could be really cool if it could like mark them, and then the damage that pops it is like true damage, so like ignores shields, or, you know, maybe we'll have like a healing effect for the user. Like, so there's all kinds of different unique, like, you know, gameplay mechanics and things they can do with that. But I'm definitely thinking like SP attacker, maybe something that'll be good in lane, maybe something good in jungle type of feeling.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Duraludon much as a Pokemon, because I know you guys aren't big Pokemon like players from like the main games, right?
Yeah, I'm not at all.
I caught them all in Sword and Shield, dude. What are you talking about? Check my decks. Why won't he check my decks?
I'm sorry,
decks, bro.
You did not present me with your credentials before this. How was I supposed to know? How was I supposed to know? Okay.
Just check my decks.
Check my decks.
Yeah, so Duraludon has a very interesting, unique passive in the games. It also has some other basic ones, and I hope they don't use those. I would like to see the unique one, right? And this passive, it makes it so Duraludon can't be taunted. It makes it so if you use
charm counter,
doubles, but that's what I want. That's what I want. Get me off this pink Pokemon. That is what I want. Please. That was my entire point. I don't need to go on anymore.
So what's the name of the unique passive?
I believe it's Stalwart.
Yeah, Stalwart.
Oh, okay. See, that'd be super cool, because we've definitely seen that with other Pokemon where they bring it in. You know, like King Shield definitely in the gang.
Yeah,
like you know,
Majesty. Yeah, no, okay.
King Shield's not in the game.
I got that one. I got that.
I
one.
still think that's so funny. Aegis Slash without King
Yeah, I mean,
Shield.
why put it there? Who needs it?
No, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've seen like, look, another thing I do whenever I'm researching the characters, I'll go watch like Pokemon series like footage of it. Like I'll go watch like what the character does in the anime or the show, and like I saw this one move where he like opens his mouth and like charges a laser, so kind of hyper beam-esque. So like that could be a thing.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Listen, I think just in general this is super random, but I really like dragons. Like I think like Western, Eastern dragons, like outside of Pokemon, I like dragons. They're cool to me. So having another dragon Pokemon, cool. We get to do like dragon team comp videos. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be really, really fun to see. It's a weird Pokemon, and I guess it's a building. It's a building? Or
I feel like Duraludon is a dragon the same way that like a fridge is toilet.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
right?
Like that's kind of how it looks for me. But no, I get what you mean. Yeah, it's got a Gigantamax form where it literally is a giant skyscraper with windows.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, you know,
it's a building. You know, it's a building dragon.
Yeah.
After Hoopa's Unbound, I know it doesn't look like we're getting the Gigantamax form, but after Hoopa's Unbound, I thought, dude, make it a big old building. I don't care.
Sky's
make it a giant building.
the
I want to see
limit.
it be a big
Go
building.
for it.
The thing I love about this game is that they have so much source material, right? There's so much they can do. You could take a character's kit and like you could take any character in this game and almost retrofit it to being almost any role with just a little bit of work, right? Like you could make Charizard an attacker, a ranged attacker if you wanted to. Like and that's what I love, right? It's the vision of the source material meets the vision of the studio, and that is so cool. And then with that splash of MOBA, right? Like we got to make it MOBA. And you know, I've known like MOBA developers in the past, and like a couple of things I've learned is one, MOBA developers always have like 10 plus characters in production. Like they're working on 10 Pokemon right now, minimum probably.
Yeah.
And two, when they make a new character for a MOBA, you're trying to answer one question. What can this do different than everybody else? You know what I mean? And first of all, just think about that. That's complicated. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Like constantly making something unique. And so I look at Duraludon and I think to myself, like, what are you different? You know, how do you do Pikachu differently? How do you do Cram Ninetales differently? Because that's what I'm assuming it is, and I'm excited to see.
I have a question for you, Krashy. I have a question for you. So someone with a lot of MOBA experience, right? You've seen a lot of changes made in MOBAs. Do you think now with Hoopa in the game that they could go back to another character and say, this needs something, let's throw it on the stick. Like let's throw it on the left stick or the right stick. Because that mechanic's been introduced now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you think that's opened that doorway?
I think that Hoopa introducing like left stick, right stick clicking, it opens the door for a lot of things. For character to character interaction, abilities, like
because I think Lucario needs another move, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Because it's not because you can move around the battlefield a lot, but then after you kind of KO everyone, what next? You know,
Yeah,
exactly.
You need something else.
Yeah, it needs like a 0 to 4 heal, like just a straight heal on its stick, I think.
I think that it would be interesting because here's the thing. Obviously, with those like mechanics involved, you can't have like too much overlap because then otherwise, how would you use one person's stick click if you have both of them up, or would one take priority? So you have to know how to manage it. So it would be really interesting. One thing that this game I kind of assumed would never have, and most likely will never have, is activatable items. So you have like an ability, like an item, every item has like a passive effect essentially, right? They have cooldowns, but we don't have any items that you have to use them other than our battle items. And so that would be really interesting to see if they could ever find a unique way to introduce that. I mean, even something like a button combination activation, like you could have like an LR activation, but it would have to be like held down and then like released or something. You know what I mean? Like I really don't know. I don't know how you do that for mobile. There's a lot of like when it comes to the mechanics of the game, they have to answer that question for multiple platforms. So, but that said, like I do think that what you're saying is true. Like it opens the door for more unique mechanics than not. Right?
Yeah.